Most students hate fractions. Maybe because they only know the traditional ways of solving them. I will show you 3 math tricks that will change your mind. Have you been in a situation that you need to solve many math problems within a limited time? I'm going to show you 3 pro tips, 3 pro hacks that will help you get your answers within a few seconds. Let's dive in. Trick number 1, the butterfly method. Now here we're talking about addition and subtraction of fractions. We'll start with addition of fractions. Now here we're going to solve it the textbook style first. That's the traditional method. When we are done with that, we will solve it using the pro hack style. Okay, now let's solve the textbook method first. Now here, the first thing we need to do is to get the common denominator, which is what we call the lowest common multiple of 3 and 4. We need to get the LCM of 3 and 4. The LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. Would you like me to make a video on how to solve LCM to get common denominators? If you'd like me to make a video on that, please let me know in the comment section down below, okay? Now let's continue. Now after getting that, we will use this to divide, we'll use the denominators to divide this common denominator. After dividing with that, we will then multiply with numerators. So divide with denominators, multiply with numerators. That's that. Okay, let's go. Now, 12 divided by the denominator 3, multiplied by the numerator 2. Bring down our plus. Repeat what we did here. 12 divided by denominator 4, multiplied by numerator 1. So solve out. 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. 4 times 2 plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 1. All over 12. The common denominator still. Now we'll multiply out. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 times 1 is 3. All over 12. 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. 11 all over 12. This is our final answer. Now we are done solving it the textbook way. Let's go ahead and solve it using our pro hack style. Now, the pro hack style. How do you solve this using our pro hack method? If you want to solve it and get your answer in a split of seconds, how do you do that? Draw a butterfly. It's just like you're cross multiplying. Now, multiply across the wings. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 3. All over. Now, to get your denominator, you will multiply the denominator. So you have 3 times 4 is equal to what? 12. So 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. 11 over 12. This is your answer. Isn't that fast? It is really fast. Now, you do this whether addition of fractions or subtraction of fractions, you use the same method. This butterfly method, you can use it. Now, for instance, let's say that we have minus here instead of plus. Let's say we have minus here. Minus. How do we get it? So we still do the same thing. Draw your butterfly, multiply across the wings, multiply. When you get your answers, subtract them, and then multiply the denominator to get the answer. That's it. Now let's go. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus, because it's minus that is here, minus 3 times 1 is 3. All over 3 times 4 is 12. Equals to 8 minus 3 is what? 5. So we have 5 over 12. This is our final answer. Isn't this fast? Of course it is fast. That's why it's called a pro hack. Why does it work? Why does butterfly method work? It works because cross multiplication secretly creates equivalent fractions with a common denominator. That's what it does. You know we did cross multiplications, right? Good. That's why it works. So what this method does is that it just combines all the steps in the traditional method into a faster process. Okay, that's why it works. It's valid. Now let's go to the limitations of butterfly method. What are the limitations? When does it not work well? 1. It doesn't work well with mixed numbers or mixed fractions. Example, you have a 2 whole number, 2 over 3 minus 5 whole number, 1 over 4. You can't solve this directly with this butterfly method without converting it first. So you have to first of all convert it to improper fraction so that it will be a single fraction, just like 2 times this 6, 7, 8, 8 over 3 minus this times this 20, 21 over 4. You have to convert it first before it will work. That's number 1 limitation. It doesn't work like this directly unless you convert it first. Then number 2 limitation is you cannot solve this you cannot use butterfly method correctly with more than 2 fractions at once. Now, you know we solve it here with 2 fractions, so you cannot solve it and correctly and get a correct answer with more than 2 fractions. So put that in mind, have that in mind, and don't use it like that so that you wouldn't get wrong answers. Okay? We are done with trick number 1. So let's go to trick number 2. Trick number 2. The magic whole subtracting from whole number 1. Now this is the problem we have on the board. You can see that they don't have the same denominator. Of course, this is a whole number. You have to make it a fraction first by making it over 1. Now you can see that the denominator is 1. The denominator here is 7. So they don't have the same denominator. To solve it, we'll use the same method we used when solving the other one. Of course, you know we have to solve the traditional method first before our pro hack. Now, let's draw a line here. Now, the common denominator here, that is the lowest common multiple. Lowest common denominator, we have it as 7. Remember I said, if you want me to make a video on how to do that, let me know in the comment section so that I'll make a video on that next time. Okay? Now, we'll use the same method we used. Divide with the denominator, multiply with numerator. That is it. So we have here 7 divided by 1 times 1. This one up here minus this 7 divided by 7 multiplied by 3. 7 divided by 1 is 7 times 1 minus 7 divided by 7 is 1. So we have 1 times 3. Here you have 7 times 1 is what? 7 minus 1 times 3 is 3 all over 7, which is equal to 7 minus 3 is 4 all over 7. This is the answer, our ProHack method. Now, to solve it that way, you wouldn't need to look for the common denominator. No, you will not do that. What you just need to do is get the difference between these two numbers. 3 and 7. What's the difference between 3 and 7? That is 7 minus 3 is what? 4. That is your numerator all over the 7. That's the answer. Yeah, I've tried to call this quick fire trick. Quick fire trick because it's actually faster than the butterfly method. This is really fast. It is really, really fast. Really, really fast. Okay. Why does this magic hole method work? The magic hole. Why does it work? Now, it works because this is just like finding what you need to get 7 over 7. You know that this is this 1 over 1 is equivalent to 7 over 7, right? So we are just looking for what is missing in the whole. And what is missing in the whole, looking at this and this, what is missing in the whole is just 4. So we have 4 over 7. So that's why it works. That's why it works. Now the limitation. The limitation is that the magic hole method only works for when you are subtracting 1 from a fraction. 1 minus whatever. 1 minus any kind of fraction. 1 minus whatever. 1 minus 3 over 4. 1 minus 2 over 6. 1 minus 7 over 9. It works. But it doesn't work when you want to subtract another whole number from a fraction. It doesn't work. That's the limitation. So you cannot say 2 minus 3 over 7 and you will say that the answer is 3 over 7. 4 over 7. No, it doesn't work like that. It only works. The only time it works is when you are subtracting a fraction from the whole number 1. Hope that is clear now. Thank you very much. Now we are done with trick number 2. Now we'll go to trick number 3. Stay with me. Trick number 3. Split and add method. Split and add, which is multiplying by number 11. Now, the traditional method is what we'll solve first. I've written the problem already on the board. So let's solve it now. 32 times 11. Now let's go. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3, 3. Now take this one and use it to multiply. First of all, you use this and multiply everything up. Well, we'll come this way. We'll write it this way in this order. Then we'll pick this, multiply everything up, and also write it in this order. But when we start picking this number, we'll start writing from here. From that number if we are multiplying with, we'll start writing from under that number down to the left side. Now let's go. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. We are done multiplying. It's time to add up. 2, bring down the 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring down our 3. So the answer is 352. That's our answer. Now, the ProHack method. How do you do it faster? Remember, it's called split and add. Split and add. Now, we have 32 times 11. Split the 32. 3, 2. Then we add them up. 3 plus 2 is what? 5. Right, 5 here. That's the answer. The answer is 352. Exactly what we got here. You split the two digits, add them up, write the answer in the middle, and that'll be it. Isn't that simple? It's simpler and it's faster. Why does split and add method work? Now, it works because adding this and writing this in the middle, the number in the middle, recreates the expansion that is done here. You see this expansion that is done to get this. It kind of recreates it mentally. That's why it works. Yes, that's why it works. Then let's go to the limitations. What are the limitations of the split and add method? Now, number one is that it doesn't work very well with 3-digit numbers. Yes, multiplying with 3-digit numbers, it doesn't work very well with that. That's the first. Now, the second limitation is when you are multiplying a number that the sum of the digits that make the number will give you a sum that is more than 9. For example, 58. Let's say 11 times 58. Now, 5 plus 8 is equal to what? It's equal to 13. Now, 5 plus 8 is 13. It is more than 9. This is actually possible to do it, but you have to carry 1. Now, let's solve it. Now, split and add. If you split this and add up, 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. It gives us 13. Now, you cannot write the 2 digits in the middle. So what you do is, you have to write these 3 here, carry this 1 to this. So it becomes 6. So the answer will be 638. So if you forget to carry that other digit, you will not get the answer correctly. So those are the two limitations. The first one is that it doesn't work well with 3-digit numbers. And then the second one is that you will have to carry when you add up the 2 digits and you get the sum that's more than 9. Hope that is clear now. That's very good. So we are done with trick number 3. When do you use ProHacks? And when are you not supposed to use them? When to use? ProHacks come in handy when you're solving a lot of problems within a limited time. That's when they come in handy. When you go for a quiz, that's another time you use it. When not to use them? You're not supposed to use them for essay questions. When you are expected to show full working, you shouldn't use ProHacks. You have to use the standard traditional method, the textbook method. Use that to solve when you are asked to show full workings. Another time to go back to using traditional method is when you are confused, when you are hooked. Maybe you are using ProHacks to solve something and get confused along the way. Go back to the traditional method because that's universal. That's the universal method of solving mathematics. Hope that is clear now. That's very good. That's good. If you want to be more confident in solving mathematics, please subscribe to my channel. Will the hacks help you? What topic would you like me to tackle next? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.